Britain faces a protracted recession and the worst squeeze in living standards in more than 60 years after the Bank of England raised interest rates sharply and forecasts inflation would hit 13% by the end of the year. The bank's 9-member Monetary Policy Committee voted 8-1 to raise interest rates by 0.5% basis points to now a current 1.75 basis points on Thursday, the biggest increase in 27 years. The BOE, which is the Bank of England, moved similarly aggressive steps by the European Central Bank and U.S. Federal Reserve in the face of soaring inflation. But its grim forecast suggests that Britain was facing a much bleaker economic outlook than either the U.S. or the Eurozone. Households are more exposed to energy price shock than in the U.S. and less protected by the government measures than the Eurozone, while the UK economy has also been damaged by the effects of leaving the EU. The BOE said that because of the latest surge in gas prices driven by Russia's restriction of supplies, it now expected inflation to rise above 13% at the end of this year, much higher than its forecast. It will remain at very elevated levels throughout 2023 before falling to a 2% target in 2 years' time. Wow, that doesn't sound good. So let's get more information. Editor, roll clip, fair use.
We also have some breaking news out of Europe. Maybe you want to get your reaction to that.
So this was expected. It's the largest rate hike by the Bank of England since 1995, and it's now joined the 50 basis point club. And I think the key here is that, they're getting pressure. The Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, the governor there, is getting pressure domestically. One of the candidates, one of the potential new prime ministers, has been criticizing the Bank of England and its failure to deliver the inflation on target. The other issue, though, if you look, I'm interested to see what's happening to the pound here. My guess is it was priced in, but that's really been the big story, is that the pound, I see it's actually I don't have it in front of me here. The pound has, there it is. It's a little weaker, actually, against the dollar, which is interesting. The pound had been as high as 140. And it's come down while the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates and other banks have been left behind. So this is a critical issue in Europe, in England, and in other places where these central banks need to keep up with the Fed in order to keep their currencies, their currency values up.
Revolution has begun. 75,000 Brits to stop paying power bills amid inflation storm. Now, before I get into this, I want to explain, if you're reading this or you're watching this video and you're in America or you're in South America or you're in Australia, I want you to understand has to happen. This could happen anywhere, right? Every country right now is dealing with inflation. Every country is dealing with its currency absolutely crashing right now. There, let's fix the brohawk. But it's absolutely blows my mind because a lot of people would sit there and they would go, hey, if you stop paying your power bill, they're going to cut off your power. Well, normally that's what would happen, right? But if so many people got together and did this, this is new territory. This would completely sink a utility company and in turn really hurt a government because the government's gonna have to bail out a utility company depending on how big they are, all right? If they're big, all right? This is just really, really interesting to me. So, okay, it says the resistance is growing as more than 75,000 irritated people in the UK have pledged not to pay their electricity bill this fall when prices jump again. Now, because they've got these rate increases going on, right? It's happening all over the world. It says 75,000 people have pledged to strike on October 1st. If the government and energy companies refuse to act, then ordinary people will. Together, we can enforce a fair price and affordable energy for all, tweeted the Don't Pay UK Twitter handle. An anonymous group spearheading the effort to have more than 1 million Brits boycott paying their power bill by October 1st. Now, let me stop here. This is really interesting because it's obviously not happening this next month. It's a planned event because they want to garner enough or bolster enough support to where these utility companies stop raising the rates, right? This is mind-blowing to me. And actually, this could never have really happened before because without social media and being able to actually share these views and garner, support, it really couldn't have happened until now where people could all get on and look and go, oh, hey, look there's this group forming and we're going to stop paying our bills on October 1st, right? And try and push back against big companies. This is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm going to link this story below so you guys can read it, but I just want to hit a couple of highlights right here. It says the strike comes as an inflation storm of high energy prices has obliterated household incomes. Brits are the most miserable in 3 decades as inflation is expected to hit 13%. And again, guys, little side note, that's government percentages. You know the reality of inflation over there is a lot higher than 3%. It says, and while the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey hiked interest rates the most in 27 years to tame inflation, risks are mounting of a recession. And it does blow me away, guys, real quick, that they did just absolutely blow out expectations about what they were going to do with the the interest rate. And the BOE came in super strong. And it's even being talked about that they're going to possibly raise another time or one or two more times before we even get to raising rates. So they're getting super aggressive. It says on October 1st, the average household will pay, £300? With about 300 for a month of power, the BOE warned. Couple surging power costs with negative real wage growth, and it becomes apparent households are being squeezed. This excludes soaring prices for shelter, food, petrol at the pump. This trend is unsustainable and could result in social instabilities. And they are completely correct, because since wage growth is not keeping up or accelerating past inflation, which we all know that is not happening anywhere in the world, right? Inflation, real inflation, is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, while wage inflation is not happening. Even if your company gives you $1 an hour raise, it's not enough to keep up with the pace of inflation, right? And I've been telling you guys this. It's going to get worse and worse going into the fall.
Hey guys, it's Jose, your regular Joe Blow again, keeping an eye out and my ears open to this information, to this sad information. It's a recession for them with an optimistic look and of targeting 2% inflation by the end of 2023. Okay, let's see how that goes. I'll continue to prepare and pray it works out for all over there in Britain. So do your research and learn from this. Prepare, prepare, prepare. We are heading in the same direction. I'll continue to bring you more information. So guys, thank you for sticking with me to the end. And as always, guys, stay free.
It ain't hard to tell. I excel, then prevail.